Hot Texas summers mean high temps, but they also mean big savings. With TXU Energy Season Pass, you save 50% on energy charges all summer and winter, plus price protection all year long. That's half off for half the year. TXU Energy. Easy to choose. Easy to use. Learn more at txu.com/season pass. 50% off energy charges applies to December through February and June through August bills. TDU and other bill charges apply normally in all months.
All right, second hour for us. It's Puck with you until 1 o'clock. Curtis is here as well. Curtis Crabtree's in the Red Box Producers Booth. Smarter way to watch and play. Red Box also brings you the show. It's a Flair Friday. It's a Drag Your Ass Friday. It's Freedom Week Friday. Freedom Week is over. Tomorrow we'll pick up the kids from camp. We got one last night. KB Winery. Getting loose, watching a musical, drinking. We're really just there for the wine. And camping in Goldie. Can't wait. One last night. All right. Top of the hour headlines brought to you by VenueKings.com. Mariners back at it tonight. Kikuchi will be on the mound. They lost yesterday because Scott Service thought, well, it's Little League, so Rafael Montero needs the pitch. 4.5 games back right now of the A's. Okay. What else? Oh, you haven't done a PGA leaderboard update. Gosh darn it. I got to do all these things. I got enough time, Curtis. It's brought to you by Circling Raven Golf Course. Visit cdacasino.com. Stay and play package if you've never done it. It is unbelievable. And it's Johnny Vegas show right now. Johnny Vegas has opened up with a 4-under today. He is 11 under overall, currently a 2-shot lead over Bo Hogue, 9 under.
Ches Reavie, also at 9 under.
I love Ches Reavie because he just got that gut. He's got that little dump butt gut that he hangs over, but he can play golf, man.
And somebody named Roger Sloan is also at
Roger Sloan plays Canadian.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Fowler. Fowler, he's 1 under through 1 hole. And he is at 8 under, so he's 3 back. All right, yesterday we had Ryan Leaf on the show, and there's some news out of the NFL that I think, and we talked about this on the show, that could be a reality, and I think ties into Nick Rolovich and the conversation we had yesterday about Nick Rolovich, his decision not to get vaccinated, whatever reason that is. Now, again, there are 3 exemptions at Washington State, as there is at every school here. So when you hear people say, if you at a dinner party and say, I thought it's required, it's not required. It's just expected. They can't require anybody to do anything. You have medical, religious, or personal exemption. So it really is a hollow thing to say we are demanding and expecting everyone to be vaccinated because personally I don't want to do it. Okay, and there's your out. He has not given an indication why. He just said that it's private and I'll keep it private. So he won't be at Pac-12 Media Day on Tuesday. Full discussion there with Ryan. I mean, I think we were fair. But we took him to task yesterday, and I think it's an embarrassment to the university, and he is embarrassing the football program, and he's leaving his kids, Borgie and Jihad Woods, out to dry next week at the Pac-12 Media Day. I thought Ryan was terrific yesterday. We'll tie it into the NFL here, but when Ryan Leaf joined us yesterday, former Wazoo star quarterback, his thoughts on the situation with Nick Rolovich.
Yeah, this is incredibly selfish. I don't want to say. I think I'm disappointed. I say I respect this decision because I don't want to be just this guy that tells somebody what to do. But Coach Rolovich, there are consequences. If you lose your job because of this, because you can't be the state's highest paid employee because you're unwilling to do things that make the health and safety of the human race and your university, your players, your fans, everything like that. This may be a choice that ultimately, loses you the job.
So that was yesterday. Myself and Ryan Leaf. That was Ryan Leaf from yesterday's show, and talking about the situation with Nick Rolovich. We're going to get Kevin Calabro on here in just a quick second, and we'll talk. We'll wrap up the NBA season. I wanted to bring this up because there's news coming out of the NFL today, and this is something that we did talk about yesterday on the show, and It's sad that we're having Pac-12 Media Day next week. I don't know what the resolution's going to be in Pullman. And I see a scenario where it is you either get the vaccine or we're looking for a new head coach. And some of you, and I know how people feel on this, some of you are going to say, this is crazy. What are we doing here? I don't have enough time to go through all. I would encourage you to listen to yesterday's show with Ryan. It's on the iHeartRadio app. It's on sportsradiokjr.com. And just understand, it's just not Nick Rolovich. His decision and other kids on that team and coaches will impact this school. Donors, it will impact the Board of Regents, it will impact the community, and it will be financial losses if they have to lose games because they didn't get the vaccine. He has to wear a mask. I'm not clear on this yet, but in the NFL, they have to travel separately. So now we're going to have to is he going to have to pay separately to fly? He can't stay at the same hotel. He can't be in meetings. He has to be masked up. We bring this up because news out of Minnesota, for the Vikings, Rick Dennison, who is the Vikings offensive line coach and is the run game coordinator, has been fired by the Minnesota Vikings this morning because he is refusing the COVID-19 vaccination. So, yes, Rick Dennison, Nick Rolovich, other coaches, and players have the right not to get the vaccine. But the school and an NFL team has the right to fire him. That was a strongly worded statement in the evening from Kirk Schultz. I'm telling you, they are not happy over there. And I could see a similar situation. It is going to be an either or. Either you get it, if you don't, you're out. And you better make a call here real quick. And I don't even know what they would. I mean, then you just punt on the season because who are you promoting? And what other coaches are there that aren't vaccinated? Then they're probably gone. This is just it's a disgrace and it's an absolute dumpster fire over there. All right, let's put the finishing touches here on the NBA season with our guy, KC.
It's another three-point shot and boom goes the dynamite.
Coming to you live from our Elliott Avenue studios of Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Gets busy early.
It's time to talk some NBA with our old friend Kevin Calabro.
Good golly, Miss Molly. Flying chickens in a barnyard.
Now with KC.
I've said it before. I will say it again. If you're an NBA official, you cannot be an overly sensitive individual.
Here's Jason Puckett.
We head over east of the mountains. He's fresh from Kelly's and getting a bag of ice and a six-pack, and he tied one on last night at Senior Frogs. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the great Kevin Calabro. Hello, sir.
What's going? And I got some jalapeno Cheetos from Pat and Mike's just a minute ago, and a quart of ice cream.
Yeah, you did. You're damn right you did. Did you?
Did you see? Speaking of which, did you see how Giannis celebrated the the championship? He went out late at night looking for somewhere, and it's kind of limited there in Milwaukee, I'm guessing, after hours. He decided to go to the drive-in at Chick-fil-A, a 50-piece nugget box, and half Sprite, half lemonade. I love that.
So you know what? Because I'm a village idiot. I didn't realize. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of nuggets. And then I realized, he got 50 because he scored 50 points. Because when he was adamant to the, and it was so cute because it was so cute because the lady that comes up there, he's like, you mind if I record? You mind if you're on, Instagram here? Says, okay. There's 150,000 people watching you, which is it's amazing that the 150,000 people are watching a guy go through the drive-thru to order Chick-fil-A. And then I love the combo because I don't know if you've ever had it. The combo of lemonade Sprite is unbelievable. It is really, really good, and I've had it many times.
Never had that. I've had the Arnold Palmer, but I was reading that. I thought, okay, I may go there. I mean, it's a new drink. Are they naming it after him?
Well, I would. I mean, they should get the Giannis.
Yeah,
they should actually. Yeah. If they're smart, they do the Giannis meal. It's a 50-piece, and then it's the half.
That's right.
Could you throw? And your age, and in your could you throw down a 50-piece?
I hate to say it, but I probably could.
Yes, well, I could. I can guarantee that. And I would have fun doing it. You know what with him, KC, is that, and I talked a lot about this after the game when they wrapped it up. I don't know if you've seen that. Have you seen the TV show Ted Lasso?
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the reason it was so popular and has been is it was the right show at the right time for everything that was going on in kind of the world and the country. It just was the perfect kind of uplifting story for what we were going through. It was just a perfect mix of things. I thought this about Giannis a little bit. You know, in this day and age of super teams and players and where it's been a turnoff, I think, for some, including myself, of it's kind of this me first mentality. You know, I'm just there to get paid, secure the bag, do all the, you know, that kind of mentality of not just basketball players, but all professional athletes, and really just not all athletes, everyone. He has this youthful, like, I'm playing basketball for the first time, or I'm going to Disneyland for the first time attitude. And it is so refreshing to watch him play and then hear him speak after a game, talking to kids, going to Chick-fil-A. Everything he does, he has this great big smile on his face. He is like Ted Lasso, the perfect show for our country. He, I think right now, is the perfect superstar for not just the NBA, but for any sports league, because he's not only great, but boy, he just does it right, like off the floor. He's this infectious personality.
Well, I don't want to get political, but I think that it is the perfect American success story when you consider he's an immigrant.
Right.
Coming over, his family moved from Nigeria, relocated in Athens, Greece, and he's from Greece and brought his family over. His brothers came over, and they came up hard. I mean, you and I talked last week, and I think everybody's acquainted with the story. You know, he's on the streets of Athens with his brothers, and they're selling handbags and watches, and, you know, they're street vendors, is what they are, making nothing, you know, not knowing, you know, really what the future holds for them, but having just this dream of playing basketball and then realizing that they have certain talents and gifts, and then, you know, fully utilizing those, and then paying his dues over there, you know, playing in the Greek league and kind of hanging out, and out of nowhere, he's drafted in the mid round of the first round, and, you know, relocates the family. So, and then here he is, 2-time MVP, Finals MVP. To me, it's just a perfect American success story. You know, and he's gotten the attention of everyone around the world, and that's part of the charter of the NBA is to expand their influence around the world, something that they've done very, very well, you know, since the early 90s when we started going on the road to Asia and to Africa and to South America and Mexico and so forth, you know, spreading the game of basketball. So to me, it was a great story. As you know, though, I'll own this. I'll own it. After Game 2, when Phoenix took care of business, I said here on your program that I thought Phoenix was the better team. Boy, was I wrong. It was just a case, I think, of Milwaukee finally waking up. Budenholzer, I think, is an excellent coach. Was second-guessed a lot, obviously, in previous rounds, but made the right adjustments. Drew Holiday finally woke up from his offensive funk in the last couple of games and showed you what he can do, but he was just darn consistent defensively through the entire series. And, you know, you just look at Milwaukee's makeup with Middleton, 6'8", excellent scorer, obviously, clutch shooter, and a terrific defender. P.J. Tucker, thick, strong, high-velocity defender. Giannis, you know what he can do defensively. And then Holiday, a terrific defender. I mean, you've got 4 extraordinary perimeter on-ball defenders on that team. So shouldn't have been surprising that they were able to reel off 4 in a row and win the championship.
And then I like his comments, you know, what he said afterwards about, you know, the easy way would have been for me to join a super team. That's the easy way out. And I'm telling you right now, that is a direct shot, and this is what I love about him, because I've referenced that 60 Minutes piece all the time where he says, I don't train with these guys in the offseason because I don't need to be their friends. I don't need to be working out with them because I'm trying to beat them. That quote after the finals is a direct shot at all of them. Durant, Harden, Kyrie, LeBron, all of them. That I don't need to join you guys. You know what? I'm gonna do it the hard way, which was, before all of this, right, Casey? When I'm growing up and in the 80s and the 90s, that's what you paid your dues. The Pistons paid their dues against the Celtics, and then the Bulls paid their dues against them. I mean, it was a thing. The Sonics, they went through this, 2 years being eliminated. The scar tissue they earned allowed them to probably help them and propel them to get to the finals against Michael. There's just a part of this old school mentality he has about, I'm not taking the easy way out to get a championship, that I think is, again, I'll use the word refreshing.
Yeah, and then his willingness to absolutely talk smack.
Right.
It's like, I like in the post game after Game 6, in which they won the World Championship. He said it would have been easy to join up with another team and be part of a championship team, and didn't mention any names, but you knew he was talking about Harden, to a lesser degree Kevin Durant, and maybe even LeBron, because in each case they took their talents to another market and won a championship on a super team, and they're within their rights to do that without question. But Harden, of course, has got to talk a lot of crap as well, saying, it'd be great to be 7 feet, run the floor, and dunk all the time, and but I'm working on skills. Well, it's like, all I know is the guy averaged 30 points, just under 13 rebounds, 5 assists, a block, a steal, played all those minutes, and averaged less than 3 turnovers per ball game. Now, did not shoot the free throws well. Didn't shoot the threes well. But what does that tell me? It tells me this dude's still got a lot of upside. So this won't be the first ring that Giannis has, in my opinion.
What do you think is going to happen in Portland with Damian Lillard? It's getting dicey down there. It would obviously, I think we all agreed, be foolish to trade him. But, so many of these athletes now have so much power and sway, and they're using that in their favor to get what they want. My God, could you envision a scenario where he is not a Portland Trailblazer?
No, I can't. I really can't. But he's stated, to paraphrase it, he wants to see what moves are made, and so the Blazers right now are in the window. I mean, we're coming up on the draft next week. Free agency starts on the eve of, I think it's August the 2nd. So a very critical 2 to 3 week window for the Blazers, where Damian Lillard gets a look at what general manager Neil O'Shea has for him. Jason Quick wrote a piece in The Athletic that leads you to believe, in Jason's view anyway, and I trust his opinion and his fact gathering. His opinion, he thinks that the Blazers more than likely are going to roll out the same lineup they had last year, which means Nurk. It means Rolo. It means Rocco. It means Robert Covington. It means C.J. McCollum at all. So with maybe a slight adjustment here or there. They don't have a first-round draft choice. They may try to buy into the second round, where Neil O'Shea has been very good before. Now, is that enough to keep Damian Lillard around? It's all about results. I mean, that probably results in a 50-win season if you roll that same group out there and they stay healthy. That was the problem last year, as Nurk got hurt after about 30 games, and CJ was having a terrific start, one of the best starts in his career, and they lost him after 25 games for a long period of time. So presumably if they stayed healthy, they could win 50 games. Does that get them into the finals? I don't know. But I don't think anything short of that is going to keep Damian Lillard around. Now, your guess is as good as mine. Is once he evaluates, say, in 3 weeks to a month, will he go to ownership and say it's not enough? And at that point, ownership's faced with a real tough decision. Lillard has 4 years on the contract. He's going into that Supermax deal, the fourth year being, of course, a player option, but who wouldn't opt into, nearly $50 million? So, you're looking at a
Hot Texas summers mean high temps, but they also mean big savings. With TXU Energy Season Pass, you save 50% on energy charges all summer and winter, plus price protection all year long. That's half off for half the year. TXU Energy. Easy to choose. Easy to use. Learn more at txu.com/season pass. 50% off energy charges applies to December through February and June through August bills. TDU and other bill charges apply normally in all months.
You're looking at a close to $200 million deal there for the next 4 years for Damian Lillard, who's 31, just turns 31 here in July. And if you're the club, you're looking at that thinking, all right, we could get a boatload for him. Because remember, Harden netted a pretty good, decent haul anyway, I think, for the Houston Rockets. They got a number of firsts and some first-round swaps. Karis LeVert was involved in that deal. He went to Indiana. It was a 4-team deal. Jared Allen was involved in that deal, went to Cleveland and so forth. But that then says that you're rebuilding. And I don't think that's what the Blazers want to do. They don't want a massive rebuilding. And I think what they would prefer to do is get star for star, if they can, for Damian Lillard. I've heard an interesting theory that if Bradley Beal became available, and right now he's saying he wants to stay with Washington, but if he came available, you'd have 2 years left on his contract with his own option. If he became available, might the Blazers try to trade for Bradley Beal and keep him in addition to a Damian Lillard? So a package deal to Washington for Bradley Beal. But I'm also reading that the Warriors are in that mix as well. The Warriors would love to entertain Bradley Beal. So there are any number of options out there, I think, for both parties. But this next 2 weeks, or next 3 weeks, are obviously very critical to the future of Damian Lillard in Portland. Stand by. This should be interesting.
All right, when you get off the lake, I want you to call up the best point guard in Sonic's history and wish him a happy birthday. How about Gary Payton? 50,
is that right?
Yeah, happy birthday, GP, the glove. 53 years young today.
Wow, amazing.
Huh?
And I didn't know he was into hockey, but I guess he is now, like the entire city of Seattle.
Hey, did you see that? Could they not get the Rain Man a bigger shirt? Come on, Kraken. Jesus. He looked like a sausage casing. What are we doing? I mean, come on.
And those sweaters are huge. I know one thing. I want a geeky sweater. I want a Kraken geeky sweater.
Yeah. But come on, let's get the Rain Man a bit. Like, can we get the guy a 2X, a 3X, or something? The guy that gave him a kid small, and he just looked like they
get Lywicki on the blower. He never misses a detail, but that one fell through the crack.
Hey, can I give you a Google review of Senior Frogs?
Can you get what?
I'm going to give you a review on Google, of Senior Frogs. This guy, this is perfect. This guy wrote, "Not much to speak of. Small, dingy place with no kind of style or ambience. Bartender may be a good drink though." And that really is Senior Frogs in Lake Chelan in a nutshell.
Well, what more do you want?
I don't know.
Bar by a lake that makes good salty drinks. Come on.
Oh, it's great. Hey, thank you so much for doing it. We really appreciate it. Throughout the playoffs. It means a lot to me, and I know a lot to our listeners and fans. Great hearing you back on the air and back on the radio. So appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the summer, and we'll speak down the road.
Oh, yes. We will speak soon.
Okay, there he is, Kevin Calabro.
Take care.
Yep, see you, bud. Kevin Calabro, again, joined us throughout the playoffs. And it's great to have him on to talk about the NBA season, which is wrapped up, and the Bucks capturing the World Championship. All right, Jim Moore, the go-to guy, brought to you by Fairway Mortgage. I guarantee he has got a thought or two on Nick Rolovich, and also he had a great column that he wrote for the Kitsap Sun a few days ago about Richard Sherman and battling with depression and then involving himself into the story. Jim Moore, who opened up about something personal to him, and he'll talk about that coming up. On app, iHeartRadio.
Girls all around the world keep asking me the same question. They all want to know what's causing all this. You know what it is? Intensified beef products. You're talking about all men. Ric Flair. Woo! Woo!
Welcome back. It's a Drag Your Ass Friday. It is a Flair Friday. Puck with you until 1 o'clock. Big thanks to Kevin Calabro joining us last segment. We're inside the Ballpark Realty Studio, ballpark-realty.com. Give Jerry a call at 206-510-2749. $750 donation to the Ronald McDonald House pushes our total to $15,750. All right, let's go. Every Friday, 11:30, we talk to the go-to guy. Follow him on Twitter, @CougsGo. He's the best in the biz. Jim Moore, all brought to you by Fairway Mortgage here on the Beacon Plumbing Hotline. Can we ever find a normal football coach?
Yeah, I saw on Twitter the other day where a guy asked the question, we got rid of one nut ball and now we have another. Can't we just get a normal coach who can win?
Jesus. Is it that hard to find? Normal, makes sense, doesn't piss people off, and wins games? I don't know. Can we put that on LinkedIn?
Yeah. No, it's a tough one, Puck. I heard the discussion you had yesterday about it and your opinions and an embarrassment to the university, and I thought it was great what you had to say because it is. And I don't know how we're going to operate and function in a good way to have a winning football program with a coach who's not vaccinated. So, yeah. And, I know a lot of people have that feeling of, hey, it's a personal choice and everything else. And I know you've gone over all of this. Yeah, it's a personal choice, but you're also susceptible to all these different rules and guidelines there at the university or in any job, and so now you're susceptible to being fired.
Well, so, and there's a precedence, and there's a precedence right now because a different league, but the Vikings just fired their offensive line coach this morning because he's refusing to get vaccinated.
Yeah, well, it could come to that, especially as you pointed out. From Kirk Schultz, our university president over there, he doesn't sound happy about the whole situation. I heard Ian yesterday talking about it, and I don't think Pat Chun is happy about it.
No.
So
no.
There's no, and he hasn't built up any equity there yet either. I mean, let's keep in mind he's only been there for 4 games, and the last time we saw him, we were, blowing a 21-point lead at Utah or whatever it was. So. I don't know. I don't think this is going to end well, and it started so well, though, too. I thought it was great when he was hired, and he talked about he knew how many days it was to the Apple Cup. He knew how important it was to a lot of us Cougs, that we get that rivalry going again. Then he comes over to Seattle and goes to bars and buying people drinks, and then what the hell happened to that guy?
Yeah, he's just.
I want that guy back.
Yeah, I think when I'm disappointed in him, and there's just been a series of things here. And all that leading up was great. I mean, I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna have this coach. He's gonna be open. He's gonna be gregarious. He's got a system that's gonna work there. He's got the personality over there that kind of works. You're gonna have to be kind of different. And it seemed like he was channeling all that. And I remember the first domino that fell for me was, oh, we're still not gonna have open practices. They're still gonna be closed. I'm like, okay. And then domino 2 was, oh, we're not gonna talk about injuries because he would refuse to talk about injuries. I'm like. Okay, great. We just went through all that, and it's maddening. It's maddening as a fan when you don't know if your player's available or not available. Are
you sure about that, though, Puck? Because
he doesn't
I feel
talk
the same way you do.
He doesn't talk about injuries.
No, but I feel the same way you do about that. And then I've had people say, "Well, that's just because you're a reporter and you gamble on the games."
Yeah, there's part of that. Sure. I just want to know, I'll be honest. Behind the scenes, I had them on last year before they played, and they got a little upset that I pressed them on Jaden Delore is going to start, and I'm like, why? Because he revealed it later. He revealed it on our show that Jaden Delore was going to start, and he was trying to keep it under wraps, and then it came out, and he kind of jokingly made a comment in the press conference was like 2 hours later that, oh yeah, Puckett got me. But behind the scenes, they were mildly upset about it. And I just why? Why? I mean, people want to know who their starting quarterback is. It's not a big deal. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to help you. I mean, who cares? And so there's that. And then the way he handled the Oregon State game where he didn't reveal who was in and who was out. Remember that? There was 30 kids that didn't play because of COVID. And then there was another incident that happened after practice when Theo Lawson was pressing him on a question about who's available to play. And he's like, you guys, all you ask me about is the Rona. I can give you 4 different storylines to write about. Let's focus on that and not the Rona. But they're like, well, are these guys playing or not playing? I just – and then remember the Cassidy Woods incident?
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I think Cassidy Woods should have been kicked off the football team for illegally taping his coach. But the reality was Nick Rolovich said, hey, you opt out, you're not coming back. I mean, that's what he said. So I don't know. There's been a series of missteps with him, and it's all well and good when you win, but if you don't win, you're going to find yourself out. And you bring up, you can do anything that you want. You can make a decision you want. The university can make a decision to fire him. And I'm telling you, Jim, I don't know what the resolution to this is. To me, I see a scenario where possibly he either gets vaccinated or I could see where they would move on from him.
Yeah, well, I'm with you on that at this point. I mean, you guys were talking about it yesterday, too, about with Max Borghi and Jihad Woods going down there to Pac-12 Media Day. And I know that in Rolovich's statement, and he's going to be there virtually, and he said he's not going to answer any further questions on it.
Well,
that's not going to stop reporters from asking.
Okay, Nick, sorry. Of course, that's all the thing is going to be about. That's what makes it so selfish. He has made this entire thing now about him.
Yeah, those poor kids. And then I heard your Borghi interview earlier this week, too, and he's so excited for his final. And Andrew Glass might be the best running back in the country, and I know that's a crude talking and thinking, Max Borghi's going to be great. Who knows? I mean, he's going to have a good season, and then now you've got this hanging over our heads. It's just, what the hell is going on? I just don't understand why somebody wouldn't get a vaccine. I don't get it. And it's so funny to me how it just goes right along political lines, I just don't get it because it's just science. I like to think that even if I'm a Republican, I'd be going, hey, you know what? I'm still going to drive up to the Evergreen Fairgrounds, wait in line and get my damn shot.
Yeah.
And if it's not about me being healthy and, not getting COVID, it's about maybe passing it on to my mom or somebody. I don't get it. It seems like, it's playing better east of the mountains than it is west of the mountains because I'm sure there's a lot of Cougar supporters of what Rolovich is doing, which I just don't get.
Hey, will you hold tight for me? Normally we do Tweet of the Day next, but I do want to talk about your column on Richard Sherman because I think it's important, and I want to promote that if people haven't read it and seen it yet. We'll put you on hold, and can we steal you for one more segment?
Oh, God, you can have me the rest of the show if you want. It'll prevent me from getting this. I'm trying to avoid getting this rental house and, all the headaches I've had over there.
Okay.
I'll hang on for
all right, we'll do a bonus segment coming up next with the go-to guy, Jim Moore. Heels.
Hey, baby! You're going to have to ride!
All right, no tweet of the day today. Emergency extra session here with the go-to guy, Jim Moore. I wanted to talk to him about a column he wrote the other day in regards to Richard Sherman. I want to read a piece of it, and then we'll bring Jim back on. He wrote for the Kitsap Sun, which he does a column for the Kitsap Sun. The go-to guy, Jim Moore, wrote this. When I think back to the day that Sherman told me he was going to ruin my career by having my media credential taken away, I really didn't think much of it then or much of it now. I always figured I was pretty capable of ruining my own career and didn't need his help. Plus, I thought at the time, I'm 59, I don't have much of a career left to ruin. I was more amused by his comments than anything else. Now, after all he's accomplished, Sherman could have even a bigger impact as a mental health spokesman, using himself as an example to inspire and help others once he's put in the necessary work. In the meantime, I look forward to the day when he's inducted into the Ring of Honor, recognized as one of the Seahawks' best players ever, and remembered as a man who made a difference as well. Jim Moore in the Kitsap Sun column about Richard Sherman. The title here is hoping Richard Sherman can inspire others who struggle with mental health. And Jim, I think when he's back with us, and I think what I learned in the column, which was just a terrific column that was written by you, because what I love about you is everything that you write and you say, it's just honest, and it's from the heart, and it's who you are, and good, bad, and different, whether people agree or not agree. They just know where you stand on things. You, for the first time at least I've heard, you detailed your own past with depression, and that you, in the summer of 1997, you had a real bout with depression, and gave you some perspective on this column that you wrote about Sherman.
Yeah, I hesitated to throw that in there because I don't know. The column was about Sherman, not about me. But I just wanted to just put that out there as a reference point because it gave me a better idea of when someone's going through some emotional distress like Sherman clearly is. Like, at first I thought, this might just be a really bad one-time drunken night for Sherman. And then when you start hearing more and more of the details, you're going, no, it's deeper than that. There's definitely some mental health issues there that he's dealing with and needs to take care of. But yeah, you're right. It's kind of funny because I'm glad that I went through that during the whole bout. Probably lasted, 2 or 3 months where I was really depressed. I remember my mom thinking, God, Jimmy, you're going to lose your job. And I was one of those guys that couldn't really put any effort into work when I was really down and out. And then probably some people thinking, well, you hardly ever put any effort into work, even when you're doing well. But I didn't really understand what I was going through. I knew I was messed up. A girlfriend had broken up with me. I didn't even know if I wanted to be with her anymore. And so I was just sitting there every day in this cabin over in the Port Orchard area and probably went 30 days in a row crying. And I remember thinking, God, okay, tomorrow's going to be the day that I don't cry anymore. And tomorrow would come, and I was one day on McCormick Woods. I remember being on the 7th fairway, and I just started crying. I'm going, God, Jim, come on, man. You're playing golf. It's one of your favorite things to do. You can't even get through a round without crying. And so, so I took that as a reference point a little bit in trying to understand what Richard Sherman's going through. Something clearly is bothering him, and who knows what it is. Maybe it's something about his career coming to an end. Maybe it's not getting offers that he expected to get. Maybe it's something at home with his wife. Who knows? Might be something personal, professional, who knows? But it gave me a better idea and maybe a little more empathy than I would have had otherwise.
Well, I think it's good too, Jim, because it's how many people who are listening right now have gone through something similar as you did in 1997, as Sherman is going through right now, or how many that read that piece who did, this is a piece, I've known you for a long time, it's a piece of you that I did not know, and how many people read that and go, man, there's other people out there. I think when, I'm not speaking from experience, but, and you correct me if I'm wrong, there's probably about when you're going through that you think that you are alone and there's no one else that has ever gone through this and what's going on, but there's plenty of people out there. So I think it was great. It was great perspective from you, and for anyone that would want to see him fail. I know your storied past with him and what happened at the whole credential thing, but I think, and to your credit, you've always laughed it off. People have always asked me, "Wow, was he mad about it?" I'm like, no, he thought it was funny because that's old school. That's old school reporter athlete behavior. That's how it used to kind of always be. But
well, yeah, no, you're right about that, Puck, because I just really didn't think anything of it. I remember leaving the VMAC and going over to Panera Bread and getting a salad or something, and I just was sitting there looking at my phone, and I saw Matt Calkins tweeted something about it, like, Richard Sherman just threatened to ruin Tim Moore's career. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess he did. It wasn't that big of a deal, and back before social media, if you're a reporter, for 30-some years like I was, you're going to have those incidents in the locker room. And back before social media, there were times with Gary Payton, Ricky Pierce. There were a number of players, and it never got blown out of proportion or anything because nobody even knew about it. It was just, like with Gary, that incident that happened, I just couldn't talk to him for a couple of days, and it was no big deal. And I heard you talking earlier that it's his birthday. I can't believe that the glove is 53.
53.
But the last time I saw him, it was like we were old friends.
Yeah.
So, it's not, it's just, as Gary would say, it's just something that happened. And, time helps heal those wounds, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, great stuff. It's a great column. I encourage people to go read it. It's at the Kitsap Sun. Just go to Jim's Twitter account, at CougsGo, and you can read it there. And probably, I would assume, maybe in the next column we'll have something there on Nick Rolovich. I'm not trying to be an editor, but I'm going to assume that you're going to probably write something about him soon. Jimmy, great stuff, man. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, Puck, thanks.
See you, bud. There he is. Jim Moore, the go-to guy, joins us every Friday at 11:30. An extra segment there with him, all brought to you by Fairway Mortgage. All right, coming up next, top of the hour, the Prince of Puyallup, Chris.
When you're behind the wheel of a Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, mighty moments are always right around the corner. 1 minute you're driving when you come across a funk music parade with a broken down float. And 1 tow later, you're leading the parade as honorary Grand Funk Marshal.
Oh, let's give a big yabba dabba doozy to the funky brother who saved the day.
Make the most of each moment with a handsomely rugged Toyota truck like the Tundra TRD Pro. Toyota, let's go places.